Welcome, Josh, the face of Arkansas Twitter, the founder of RedCup Arkansas. Got kind of an early morning. The people are all wondering, so we had a potential intramural softball ACL tear a few days ago. I haven't gotten an injury update on that.
Yeah, so it doesn't hurt as much, which is a positive thing. I went bowling last night, bowled a 170. I didn't fall down
With the injury?
with the injury, so I'm thinking, which they say you could walk on a torn ACL. It's
You
just I
bowl
haven't.
170, though. Did the doctor say that?
That is true. I didn't twist it last night though, so I'm wondering like if I twist it a little bit, if I'd feel something because it definitely still hurts here and there. But right now it's still hanging up. So we'll see Wednesday when we play what
So
happens.
people that have you on intramural softball fantasy, are you questionable, doubtful? Like what's the are you keeping it quiet so the other team doesn't have a scouting report on you?
90% chance I'm playing Wednesday, but we got 3 games on Wednesday, so I gotta be careful.
Might have to take one off, but anyways, Arkansas baseball season, you guys like most schools don't really care about baseball. For you guys, it's like another football season. Like there's tailgates, there's like everyone gets up for the games. I'm not really in the college baseball world. Like how's this season been going? How's Arkansas looking? What are the vibes in Fayetteville?
Yeah, so we were ranked number 2 all the way up to last weekend. We dropped 2-3 at Florida, so we're number 6 now. But we already won the series against number 12 LSU. Already got people camping out for games. This weekend, there's people camping out, which like most schools, if it's a 6-12 matchup, they don't even camp out for that in football. Some may, but a lot don't. Same with basketball, but we have a group of like 15 guys that have been out there all weekend. This morning it hailed, so I doubt they're out there anymore. Vibes are good, though. I think everyone kind of has a consensus that it's going to be really hard to beat Tennessee because they lost the first SEC game last night. But there is a good chance we can win it all this year. I think we're definitely one of the top 3 that could.
So college football, it's like we know it's going to be Bama, Georgia, Clemson. Basketball is kind of a shit show. Where's like college baseball in terms of like who's going to win it all? Like, do you kind of know now, or is it just like
Baseball is kind of like March Madness because Arkansas last year, a lot of people said that was the best college baseball team in maybe 10 years.
Yeah.
And we got bounced in super regionals to NC State, who ended up was going to play in the championship but couldn't because of COVID. And they had COVID.
Yeah, that was bullshit. That was such bullshit.
Yeah, no, it was very dumb. So like right now, Tennessee is by far the best team, but they could get bounced in their own regional because baseball game you could get beat to a D2 school on a Wednesday night.
Yeah, I mean if the pitcher's just throwing gas or your hitters are hot, like it's
So there's a consensus of like 5 teams that are there. It's usually like Arkansas, LSU, who isn't great this year. Texas is there. Mississippi State, who won it last year, but they're not there this year. Now Tennessee has moved their way in there, and there's a few teams out on the West Coast as well that are usually pretty good.
Yeah, the college baseball environment's so cool. I know it's a lot smaller than the 2 major sports, but it's just like the culture, like the fact that it's a football season in the spring is just so cool.
Especially down here, it's insane. Like fitting 13,000 people in on a Friday afternoon is wild to me. That's as much as a lot of basketball arenas hold.
Baseball games are so fun to go to too. Like it's not like you don't have to watch it. It's just like the vibes.
Yeah, people just drink because you can bring alcohol into the games here. So they'll just sit in the outfield with a cooler and get hammered.
So what's the beers on head thing? I always see that on Twitter. I never got like an official backstory on that.
Yeah, so whenever the bases are loaded, a lot of people have beer hats, and they'll put the beer hats on, or they'll take a beer and put it on top of their head. That basically means bases are loaded. If we get a single, you take 1 drink. A double's like 2 drinks. A triple, I think you chug it, and a grand slam, you shotgun it. I could be wrong on the last 2. I know you definitely chug it for a home run.
So it's just propaganda for UARK beer sales? Is that?
I guess so, yeah. Yeah, basically.
But speaking of Arkansas traditions, we've never had like an official. We need the mashed potato backstory from your perspective, because I remember the video came out. It was just another clip in the video, and then it just kind of spiraled to what it is now. So I guess like from your perspective, from upload to now, like I guess how did that kind of snowball?
Yeah, so that was the second interview I think, that I
Yeah,
ever.
second one. It came out on my birthday, my 21st birthday. I remember because it was the first. It got a lot of traction on Twitter.
Yes, and it didn't take off right away. So I remember my girlfriend was my videographer. It was my freshman year. There wasn't many people that wanted to drive to Little Rock because we were playing in Little Rock with me. And so the day before, and I just started working for RedCup. I was maybe a month, 2 months in. It wasn't long. And my girlfriend Faith, I was like, "Hey, need you to come with me," and she was like, "Okay, that's fine." Like 2 days before, she started getting sick, and like the day before, she was like, "I can't go. I'm really sick." I'm like, "Screw you! I just started. I can't be messing this up. Mitch will be mad at me." Blah blah blah. And so I took her, and it was super cold outside. It was probably 40 degrees and like drizzle, and she was already super sick. Ended up she had mono, so I think it made it a lot worse because she was very sick for like a month. But drug her out there, and I was going around doing my interviews, and I asked someone, "What are you gonna do if Arkansas wins today?" Because at that point we were at a huge losing streak. We sucked, so everyone just wanted one win, and we ended up like losing by 30 that game. And so I interview this guy, and in the background I hear a guy say, "I'm gonna stick my dick in the mashed potatoes." So at that point I'm like, "Okay, I'm cutting off this part of the interview." I walked over to him. I'm like, "What'd you say?" And that's where the video came from. And we posted it. It did decent at first. I know, like, my Twitter following now is like 12,000 more bigger than what it was.
Yeah, that was when you were just starting. I mean, you were a freshman, so it's not.
When that video happened. And yeah, it didn't take off for a while. And then, like, just one day out of nowhere, it took off. And I was an idiot and didn't have our logo on it. But luckily the mic had the logo on it, and we picked up, at least I picked up a really good following off of that, and then that just kept going up and up exponentially over time. But that video has so many views, and so many people have seen it, and it's been on Barstool, Old Row, Scott Van Pelt's seen it.
Yeah,
everywhere.
No, it's crazy. I mean, it's like he's like the figurehead of Arkansas winning, or like
he's an Oklahoma fan too, though. Did you know that?
No, I figured he wasn't. I know because I know he was visiting his buddy.
Yeah, so we couldn't find the guy forever. And as you know, when we were in March Madness this year, he posted a video of him finally.
Yeah, for the Elite Eight. He's like,
didn't even beer. Tag me in it either. I was kind of like, come on now.
Well, you didn't tag him, to be fair. So,
that's true. But I looked through his profile, and he was like a big Oklahoma fan.
Yeah.
Man, this sucks.
It's nuts. I didn't tell you, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, I was walking in Charlotte, and I saw a guy with just an Arkansas shirt, and I said mashed potatoes, and he like laughed at me. Like he knew what it was, like in fucking North Carolina.
I mean, that's like when we went to, I think I was in Alabama to do interviews. Is it there? I think it was Georgia. I had a dude come up and say it into the microphone.
Yeah.
I was like, we're freaking Georgia right now. There was a game where Arkansas wasn't playing, I guess. So it was Alabama, Tennessee. And a dude came up into the microphone and said that.
Yeah, like, it's great. I mean, like a lot of I see like in your replies, like a lot of people has their profile picture, their header, like it's everywhere. It's so weird, like how just a video like that can kind of blow up. But
and it's not like many people know that's me either in that video, because like some people do, but there's other people that'll recognize me like from Twitter or something, and then that video will get brought up, and I'm like, I'm the guy that's in that video, right? And they're like, I have no idea. I'm like, I'm the dude standing right beside the mashed potato guy.
Yeah, it's just like a 3-second clip, like it's so quick. But
yeah.
So you went to, I think I texted you a few weeks ago when you said you're going to the Final Four, or you went to Elite Eight, right? Elite Eight. Yeah. So I text you like you're leading the league in like cool events. You've been to like a few overtime football games. You've rushed the field like twice. What's the coolest event you've been to in the past, like, I don't know, since COVID, the past like year and a half? Because you've been to like 10 like really fun events.
Outside of Arkansas is when we went to Tampa and rushed. What was the street called?
Soho Street, yeah.
That was hard to beat. In Arkansas, I'd say Arkansas beating Auburn and storming the court.
Yeah. That was such a fun game. Like I was watching at home, but it was just such a fun game. Like Walker Kessler running off.
Though. Yeah. But I would say rushing the basketball court, because that doesn't happen, I feel like, near as much as football does.
Yeah.
and we were on the court for like 30 minutes, and I slept out, which I slept out for the Texas game, but slept out for that. But I've been to a lot of crazy games. I mean, you got to put Arkansas Gonzaga up there too.
Like, yeah, beating them's awesome. Like that's like a once every 10 years win for the program.
And then I saw Coach K in his last season twice, and I've been to too many good games. I'm excited.
What about the Arkansas Ole Miss game? I think it was a noon game, so you didn't get interviews, but
but I was sitting right on the field, and the people we had free. It's like the suite. If you're in a really nice suite, that's on the field, and then the place that we were staying back home was really nice, and that was a blast. I mean, there isn't a game that's been bad. It's kind of sucked going to Alabama and Georgia. I drove back in the middle of the night twice during both of those, and both were very dangerous. I remember the Alabama one or it was the Georgia one with my buddy Ryan. Like we were legit like falling asleep at like 3:30 in the morning at the wheel. Like I remember yanking down and like luckily catching on to the wheel, because if I didn't, because we were both just like so out of it. Like we were talking like a month and a half ago. He's like, "Do you remember that crazy rainstorm on the way back?" I was like,
You just go in like survival mode and just like got to get home.
Yeah. So every trip's been crazy in its own way. They've all been super fun though.
So your Twitter Spaces, I know this is, so when we're recording the Spaces, I don't want to say it's a new feature, but I feel like at least I haven't seen a lot of people using it well. Yeah. You're using it very well. You kind of got you host a space after Arkansas wins, you kind of get the whole fan base in that. What's I guess like you just walk through like how your Spaces operates, and then like what's been like the rowdiest group, like most people, like after what event?
Yeah. So most people, well, I'll talk about how they work. So the Space is basically, we could say a live podcast or like a live stream on YouTube. I go in, I'll have one or two co-hosts. It's usually my buddy Landon, which you know Landon.
Yeah, I know Landon.
And, David will jump in there too and help me co-host, because I'll usually like talk and I won't have my full attention on like letting people in, but you can have, I think 7 to 10 people can join in and talk and say whatever they want. So we usually do them after Arkansas games, after they win or lose, because our fans are going crazy. The most I've ever had is when I was breaking news about a big NIL deal. We had 1,100 people in there. But most of the Spaces average like 300 plus after the games, if it's a good game. And then we do our late night sussy Spaces, is what Landon calls it, where we've started at literally 10 p.m. and gone till 4 a.m. And we'll just sit there and like we've had an actress from the Hunger Games, a old UFC fighter, like we've had incredible people join that I'm like, why in the world are they in here? Like one guy was one of the best scorers ever in Louisville basketball history and averaged like 60 points a game in China. It's just cool getting the different perspectives, and it's helped me gain a following outside of just Arkansas, which is what I want personally for myself. And then, I mean, that just helps the brand RedCup as well, because more people see it and whatever.
100%.
Yeah, the Spaces are wild.
Yeah, I kind of like, I follow Arkansas, like I guess they're like my second favorite team, but like I don't know like what linebacker you guys got, if it's like a 3-star. So like I'm not, so like I'll hop in, but I'm kind of lost. But I'm definitely entertained. There's some funny individuals.
They go off the rails at like 1 a.m. We'll get someone from like Russia in there, and we're like, what in the world is happening?
Yeah, and like you said, like 300, like, and then you peaked at like 1,100, like.
Yeah.
Like in views, that doesn't sound like a lot, but live people, that's like having an auditorium of 1,000 people listening to like that doesn't seem like a lot for like internet numbers, but that like to have that many live people in there is like nuts.
And there's a way to tell. So if I record the Space after you end it, you can see like how many people have gone in and out. And like I've had some that are like 4,000 people.
Yeah,
like 35 minutes, and that's
crazy.
Good. Yeah,
it's such a cool feature, like just to have a live podcast that's like interactive.
I didn't think it'd be cool at first, and then luckily not too many people do them. People probably just don't like hosting and talking, but that stuff, like I've done it for years.
anytime they add a new feature, there's a learning curve, and like people who already are good at what they do don't want to pick it up. I saw one, the only like mostly spaces I just see you, but like I saw one. There's a basketball one, and it was Kevin Durant like arguing with just some random guy who was picking on his game of play, and it was such a like it's such a cool thing that like one of the best NBA players can just talk to some random burner account on Twitter and like chew him out.
Yeah.
Like, because what other like place can they talk in real life? Like, I don't know. Yeah, it's just such a cool thing because like Kevin Durant and some casual aren't going to be on a podcast, but the fact that they can just like with a click of a button talk to each other is so
One
cool.
of the funniest clips on Twitter came from a space, and it was Russell Westbrook's brother talking about Westbrook and like why they're talking about why Westbrook needs glasses and he can't see, and his brother was in there talking, and his brother talked about it. It's a funny clip.
People screen record and post the clips too, so they get views that way. But yeah, no, it's crazy. I haven't hosted a space, but I just really cool feature. I'm happy
it's neat. I like them a lot. I try to do them when I can. I've been more busy the past few weeks, but whenever I have time, I'll throw one up and see what people are thinking.
Yeah, we'll plug your Twitter on here too. If any Arkansas people, I'm assuming they're already following you if they're watching this, but if anyone else hop into space.
Josh Teeter 01, I think. Yeah, I think so. I want to get that handle just Teeter, but I can't. There's someone with it.
Someone has Teeter?
Yeah. I keep reporting the account because it's like 8 years old and they don't use it.
Yeah, no, on Instagram, I remember I was trying to buy just RedCup, like the 6 letters, and there's some account that hasn't used it in like 4 years. I'm like, bro.
I want to do, I thought about doing Tweet or Teeter, but that was also taken.
Who the fuck has that?
No.
That'd be a good burner.
That would be a good burner, yes.
But yeah, so I mean, like pretty much everyone on campus probably knows you by now. What are some of the athletes you've built a relationship with? And I guess that's it. Like, what athletes have you built a relationship with and kind of interacted with online, offline, maybe?
The closest I'm probably with is Hudson Clark. Played intramurals with him. Gun Clip.
They let him play intramural football?
He played basketball.
Okay, I was gonna say that seems unfair.
To be honest, sorry Hudson, if anyone important sees this. But he also played intramural boys basketball with the football team, so I think he'd be okay. Kamani Johnson, I built a relationship with. Cameron Little, who's the kicker here, I have a good relationship with. Connor Nolan, baseball starting pitcher. I mean, there's just a bunch of different guys. I would say Hudson I'm definitely closest with. I talked to a bunch of athletes. You
were kind of friends with him prior to like his big game and like him really getting like a big role in the team, right?
Yes, he went to high school with my freshman year roommate. So I first met him my freshman year, and he was a walk-on, didn't play, and then he had that one game his sophomore year where he had 3 interceptions on that.
Yeah. It's like SEC Defensive Player of the Week, which like in the SEC as a walk-on, like that's absurd. That just doesn't happen.
There's a few female athletes I know as well. But yeah, it's weird. I was at Row the other day, which our Row is basically where the fraternities combine to get a concert, and so we had T-Pain here, which was pretty cool. But like K.K. Robinson walked by, and I talked to him for a minute. He was transferring, and like one of the other players on the team like was walking by, and we've never met before, and he was like, "Oh shit, it's Teeter!" And he came up to me and hugged me. He's like, "Dude, you're so accurate. I love everything you do." I was like, "That's pretty damn cool that these players like know who I am."
Yeah, definitely. As now you're like, because when you started you're younger, but now you're a junior, going to be a senior. Like the underclassmen will kind of like look up to you. It's pretty cool.
It's weird, man. It's weird. I was at Row the other day and had like 10 to 15 people just come up in like a 2-hour span. I was like, it's weird to think about for sure.
It's fun until it's not. Like, depends on the setting. Like, if you're just trying to eat, like, it's annoying, but sometimes when you're out, like, people, I don't know.
I enjoy it unless I've only had like 2 people, like, get on my nerves. But it's because, like, they didn't like me.
They should.
And I'm like, what do I say to that?
Like, bro, I tweet about recruiting. Like, what do you hate?
There was a dude, so last week, or it was 2 weeks ago at Baum, we're at a baseball game. I was standing in front of a group of guys, and their fraternity has a lot of guys that don't like me for some reason. I don't know why. But I heard one of them yell F Teeter. It was a shorter, probably 5'8" kid. So I turned around and looked at him. I was like, okay, sounds like I'm going to come back there and introduce myself. Kind of play like you're a dick, let me be nice to you. And so I went back and shook his hand. And he was like, bro, nothing but respect. I love the hustle that you do. You do everything great for this university. You're only saying that because I'm back here right now. Now that I'm in your face, you don't have to. It's wild.
Yeah. Stuff you got to get used to, though. It's going to be even worse next year, probably.
Probably. Maybe not when I'm a senior, because I feel like most of the underclassmen like me. It's usually the people that don't like me or the people in my same grade or above. But it's a very select few that don't like me. So
yeah. So I haven't heard anything recent. I wanted to get an update on the record. KJ Jefferson for Heisman. So is that still a take you're willing to die on? Because
I think he could be in the top 3. I really do.
Okay, so you got talked down to finalists now.
I think he could be a finalist. I mean, who do you think will win next year? I can't think of anyone off the top of my head. Bryce Young?
Bryce Young's obviously number one. I don't know. After him, it's kind of – I don't think there's a second guy that anyone's in love with. Maybe Caleb Williams.
If Arkansas wins 10 games, he can win Heisman.
Okay.
Because for us to win 10 games, he's going to have to average 300 throwing yards a game and 75-plus rushing yards. And I think that would be Heisman material.
They like the rushing touchdowns a lot. It's usually little guys who can scramble. KJ's a little bigger, but same thing. He gets a lot of rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, and we have Jaden Hazelwood, who's a transfer from OU.
He's good. Because I follow Big 12. I've known him for a while. He's good.
I think Keatron Jackson, who did well last year. So our backup, Malik Hornsby, do you know who that is? So they've moved him to wide receiver some in the offseason. He's also the backup quarterback.
So he's both, because I saw Coley left.
Yes, Coley went to Houston, which I was close with. He was another guy I was close with, so I hate to see him leave.
See if he wants my Dana Holgerson cutout. I have a life-size Dana Holgerson cutout. I'll grab it.
Yes, please put it behind you. Thing's awesome.
I don't know if it's in screen.
Oh, it's so funny. I love how you have the tie around it.
Yeah. I was looking for somewhere to put it. I was like, this is perfect. All right. Oh, all right. Well, anyways, Lucas, it's not going to be cheap, but we could probably work something out.
It's so funny.
Okay, I'm going to lay it down. It's not going to stand up. Anyways, so KJ Jefferson, what would you say percentage-wise he's a finalist? Just to get a number out there.
35%. That may be kind of high. 30%.
That's fine. I mean, it's second best QB on paper in the SEC. So
yeah, I mean,
I don't know besides Williams who I'd take. Obviously young, but
it depends how Rattler does too. I feel like he has so much hype that if he actually comes out and produces.
South Carolina, are they going to win 8 games?
Yeah, they're going to be good this year, I think.
You think so?
They play Arkansas the second week, so that's going to be fun. Our first game is Cincinnati, and then we have South Carolina right after.
Yeah, that's an hour and a half for me. I'll definitely go back there. We have Mike there too. That's a fun-ass school. The frat lads are nuts. Yeah, it was. I went for the Clemson game, so probably a little rowdier than normal, but it's just, yeah they definitely tailgate. And then Arkansas football prediction for 2022. What's the win total?
Does this count the bowl game or no?
Let's do regular season, first 12.
I'm going to say 8-4. I think 9 is possible. I think 10 is kind of out of reach. It'd be hard. We have Alabama at home next year, so if we could somehow beat them, that'd be awesome. But them, A&M are both going to be very hard to beat next season.
A&M's on the road.
Yeah, it's in Dallas again.
Okay, that's a little bad. I mean, playing in A&M's impossible.
We always play them close too. Literally every game we play them is close. Yeah. I mean, outside of them, every game we're playing this year, I think we can win. And I honestly think we're the better team in every other game this year.
Yeah. You went 8-4?
We won 9 last year if you include the bowl, I think. I don't know.
Something, yeah, 8 or 9, like a little under 10 wins. But I mean, that's crazy from where the program was 3 years ago.
Yeah, having 2 wins, so that's insane.
Yeah. And then, so for incoming Arkansas students that see this, you're now a junior, about to be a senior. What is the best part about the college, and what is the worst part? I know you don't really go to class very often, but the times you have gone to class, what have been your favorite part and least favorite part?
I mean, favorite part for me is probably definitely the sporting events and meeting new people. And Dixon Street's a blast too. I don't go out too much. It's not really my thing. But the sporting events are super fun. Also take advantage. Monday nights and Friday nights, bowling on college is super cheap. So go bowling. We've started doing that every week. Started going bowling. So that's a.
Does the school have like a bowling alley? Like
it's close to the campus, and that's where like all the students will go. But like we went last night from 11 to 1 a.m. and it was $40 for 4 people, so $10 a piece for 2 hours.
That's not bad. Yeah, that's really solid. We used to have a bowling alley under like our dining hall, so we'd all go there just to like, get a beer. Yeah, dude, that was the gym class. I remember. Not one I took,
That's
but
cool. That's cool. I would say the worst part. I mean, there's nothing really too bad. How political the school is gets on my nerves, but that's like a whole other topic. Every school gets into that stuff.
yeah, I mean, every school has negatives in that. It's just kind of depending on where your views are, but
there's nothing really bad about the school here. I mean, some of the professors are not the best, but like.
What about like weather or like surrounding? Is there anything like that? Like just anything about being there that you don't necessarily like?
I'm used to the Arkansas weather because I grew up here. Like we've had severe storms the last 3 days, and we had like snow last week. And our weather will jump from like 75 to, I'm not kidding, like 20 and snow in 2 days.
That's nuts.
Then back up to severe weather at 50 something the next day. There is, I guess, like if you're not a party type like I am for the most part, not a whole bunch to do like right around the campus if there's not sporting events going on. You could like go to your friends or whatever, and that's usually what I do. We'll bowl, play disc golf, go play basketball, something along those lines. There's nothing too bad that I can think of off the top of my head about coming here.
All right, sounds good.
It gets really hot in the summer. That's one thing.
Yeah, so you're staying there this summer. Is it like dead in the summer or?
It's more dead than usual, which, I mean, for a side hustle, I do Uber Eats. So it helps because there's not as many people on the road, which is nice because I can drive around at 5 o'clock and there won't be traffic everywhere.
Yeah, driving without traffic is just like 100 times better.
Yeah, and so the summer up here, it's basically like, let's say you have 25% of the population that's usually here. So let's say there's maybe 4,000 students compared to, I guess there'd be probably, let's say 5,000 compared to the 20,000 that are here. But like a lot of those kids during the summer, if they're not working, what they're doing is going to one of the 4 apartment complexes around here that have ginormous pools, playing beer dye there, beach volleyball, beer pong, and swimming. And that's like all people do, and it's so much fun. That's what I did all last summer. It's a good way to meet new people. I mean, I love playing sand volleyball. So just getting out and being able to do that with random people you've never met, and then playing beer dye with random people you've never met, and then swimming afterward is a blast.
So summer's coming up, and you got the D Rose Achilles or the D Rose ACL. Are you worried about sand volleyball a lot? 'Cause a lot of jumping, a lot of quick movement.
Very. So we just got done with sand volleyball intramurals a few weeks ago. Didn't perform the best, but that's okay.
How many intramurals are you in?
I'm literally trying to play like everyone. We've done volleyball. We've done co-ed basketball. We won the championship in that. Indoor soccer, we've made it to the championship. Sand volleyball, we made it to the 3rd round, I think.
You're like, I'm so busy, but you also have like shuffleboarding intramurals at 6 p.m. every day. Like,
I'm trying to do pickleball intramurals right now. I'm trying to get myself signed up for that.
Pickleball is a fun ass sport. In gym class, I used to clean up.
Softball's super fun.
Yeah.
Slow pitch softball. That's what I'm joining a league too. So like when I say I'm busy. I try to keep myself busy, just like going and playing basketball or.
No, that's what you should do. Just to fill up your whole schedule, get 8 hours of sleep.
But I'm definitely worried about sand volleyball this summer because I've pulled a hamstring playing that before. Like, yeah, you got to jump around and stuff.
Yeah, if it's 2v2, it's a lot of movement. If you got 6, you kind of just stand there. But
yes, 2v2 it's a workout too. It's really fun.
Yeah.
It's a workout.
Yeah. No, I love volleyball. But anything else you want to tell the people? Closing remarks.
I can't think of anything. RedCup has exploded since I've been here. It's wild to think about. My freshman year page had 17,000.
Yeah,
when I first
got on it,
logged in, it was at like 23, and now it's at what 225.
Yeah, something like that. It's we're kind of growing again too, so it's really exciting. The past 2 summers have been huge for us because everyone's at home, just like kind of picking their nose. So, hopefully this summer's another big one. But yeah, no, it's exciting, dude. Can't wait for next fall.
Yeah, I know. Next fall is going to be fun. I got to figure out where all I'm trying to go.
Yeah.
I'm excited though. But no, that's it.
But all right, awesome. Follow Josh on Twitter, Josh Teeter01, Instagram, RedCup Arkansas. Follow the Arkansas branch. Thanks for hopping on.
It was fun, as always.
Right fucking here.